Britney Spears says that Kevin FEDERLINE is cashing out on her trauma for profit, but Kevin says that he's the victim. He says that Britney was partying it up while pregnant and breastfeeding. He also says that he caught her cheating on him with a woman. Kevin also says that Britney's current situation is so much worse than what people think. So he wants people to buy his book to find out. Britney Spears is calling out his scheme, and we're gonna go through his lies. So let's get into it. Ever since news broke that Britney Spears was coming out with a book and landed a major book deal, her little sister Jamie Lynn Spears thought to herself that she would rush out a book to go and make some money. Well, I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu because now Kevin FEDERLINE, Britney's ex, is coming out with his own book. Not to give you guys a spoiler, but Britney's not happy about this, especially with headlines like this, that something bad is going to happen. An ominous warning in this new memoir. Something bad's gonna happen to Britney Spears? He says, the truth is, this situation with Britney feels like it's racing towards something irreversible. Something bad's gonna happen if things don't change. And my biggest fear is that our sons will be left holding the pieces. He said it's become impossible to pretend that everything's okay with Britney, and adds, from where I sit, the clock is ticking and we're getting close to the 11th hour. Well, wait, what do you mean? Where you sit in Hawaii on a property that Britney Spears paid for? He's made so much money from her child support. He's made 20 people's careers worth of money just from Britney's child support, trying so badly to make Britney seem like a bad mother so that he could have full custody and make the most that he could.
I'm absolutely, as a father, terrified that one day I might wake up and my sons are gonna have to deal with the unimaginable. I kind of have to sound the alarm that I truly feel that somehow, some way, I just wish that their mom would get help. What's going on now, and I'm not gonna get into details because I'm not gonna just expose her personal life, but it's 10 times worse than anything that I've said in my book. I've stayed with my mouth shut for the sake of my family. I've tried to help my sons build a relationship with their mother, and I pray to God every day that she gets the help that she needs or wakes up and realizes that you have 2 sons right there in front of you that are screaming for a life with you, the same that they have with the rest of their family. At the end of the day, I just want Britney to be around for her children.
Wait, okay, so screaming out is what he said. They're screaming out for a relationship. Note that, because Britney actually used that in her response. But there are so many red flags here. I mean, is he telling the kids that their mother's going to die sometime soon? I mean, I'm pretty sure Britney's been begging to have a relationship with her kids, especially throughout her conservatorship, but her father would taunt her and use them against her the same way Kevin has. I mean, he wrote in his book that the kids would awaken sometimes at night, finding her standing silently in the doorway, watching them sleep. They would ask, "Oh, you're awake?" with a knife in her hand. Then she would turn around and walk off without explanation, which doesn't help Britney's case as far as being a fit mother. Kevin reveals that he hasn't even spoken to Britney in years. So how do you know how she's doing if you haven't spoken to her? Also, why isn't he speaking to her? They're the parents of these kids. They should have communication too. He says, my kids don't know the woman that I married, and I've spent 2 decades trying to bridge that gap. You've tried, but you haven't spoken to Britney in years. And I don't know if that's Britney's want and desire, and if that is, that's totally okay. But I am curious. I think that the communication could help. I mean, communication is key. And I have a feeling that there's zero communication here because Kevin feels very confident going and defaming Britney. I mean, she could sue him with headlines like she's drinking and on meds while pregnant, that she was even enjoying some Coca-Cola while she was breastfeeding, which is a big no-no. You guys know I'm not talking about the soda. There's a reason why Hollywood stars always seem to walk away from scandals untouched. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. Most regular people, including me, don't have a legal army behind them. And if you're injured in an accident, insurance companies try their best to pay you as little as possible. That is where Morgan & Morgan comes in. With over 1,000 attorneys and 100 offices across the country, they are built to fight for regular people, not corporations. In Florida, a client was offered $350,000
by an insurance company. Morgan & Morgan stepped in and got them $12 million. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome, but these stories are what they do every day. And it's easier than ever. You don't have to deal with those piles of paperwork. You also don't have to pay anything up front. You could even start your claim right now within minutes by using your phone. You could get started by scanning the QR code on the screen using your phone's camera. Remember, the fee is free unless they win. If you ever find yourself injured, then check out Morgan & Morgan. Again, you could start your claim today by scanning the QR code or visiting the link in my description below. It's fast, it's simple, and it could change everything.
Kevin said that he witnessed her doing the substance and they got into a huge fight that led to their divorce. He claims that she was supposed to be home with their sons, but showed up to his release party for playing with fire. As we reached to the top of the venue, Jamie Spears, Brittany's dad, was standing there. I hadn't expected to see him, but I was so happy that he decided to come and support me. He threw a look my way, shook his head, and motioned to my dressing room. His expression sat in that flat blank space between disapproval and apprehension, as if to say, she's here and it's not good. The first thing I saw was Brittany and her young starlet friend doing some, Coca-Cola. Both were wearing outrageous wigs. Brittany was electric blue. It was surreal. They didn't even try to hide it. In the book, he says he begged her not to go home and breastfeed the kids this. Call your mom or someone. We need to get formula. You can't do this. Kevin alleges that Brittany drank alcohol while pregnant and on medication in an excerpt from his book, which, this is like so much worse than I even anticipated. And he's saying this situation's like 10 times worse than what he even wrote. So what could be the truth? Brittany wrote in her book that she never had a drinking problem or any interest in hard drugs, but Kevin says I'd seen it before. Her drinking and breastfeeding was really upsetting because of the danger to the kids. She could have pumped the milk for Jaden, so her mom had that ready.
But what we're not going to do is insinuate that she would have hurt her kids, because she loved her kids, which is another reason why she paid child support. And what we're also not going to do is believe the guy who writes a book that comes out 2 weeks after his son turns 19, right around the time it would be his very first missing child support check. Because one couldn't possibly have gotten a job this entire time.
On top of everything that Kevin is alleging about Brittany, he's also claiming that she cheated on him. But in a twist, it was actually with a woman, a female dancer. It was during a wild night on tour in Amsterdam, back at the hotel. Brittany and I went to her room, but shortly after, she said she'd be right back. At first, I didn't think much of it. The hotel floor was ours. They had booked it out for the entire tour, so everyone's room was nearby. But as time passed, I wondered what was taking so long. He wrote, I decided to check if everything was okay. I stepped into our hallway. Our door still cracked, like most on the floor. Headed towards the elevators and past the rooms. I glanced inside and then I froze. There she was. Teresa was sitting on the edge of the bed. Brittany stood between her legs, hands on her face, and they were expletive, going at it, full on making out. It was one of those moments that hits you so fast, your brain can't even begin to process it. You just stand there stunned. I'm not sure what's real. I didn't say a word, just stood there watching. Oh, did he? Was okay. For a second, nobody moved. Then they both looked at me, saw me. I turned and walked away. My heart was racing, but not with excitement. It was something colder, sudden clarity. This wasn't what I signed up for. So I got the hell out of there. As soon as I got back to our room, I grabbed my suitcase and started packing. At that point, I cared about nothing else and I just wanted out. He did not leave. Brittany came back to the room. She begged for him not to leave and she said she would never do it again. And he said that he was really mad, but he believed her. So he stayed and they worked on their boundaries, and that kind of like set the tone for their relationship while they're in Europe. But you know what? Teresa, the backup dancer, replied to this allegation. Teresa said that she actually introduced Brittany and Kevin, though she adds that she's not exactly sure how that innocent introduction turned into more than just a simple hang, and that's not my story to tell. She concludes her message by expressing gratitude for Brittany for the platform that she gave her, and says no one could understand what it's like to walk in her shoes. Teresa did not address the actual rumor with Brittany. Kevin claims that he walked past this room, and saw them hooking up. So Teresa not deny, like the fact she didn't deny it, kind of Oh no, kind of makes it seem like it happened, you know? I mean, if she's going to comment about it, I feel like she could be like, yo, this did not happen. You got it all wrong. But she's like, no, Brittany, thank you for like helping my career, and like smiles, like not mentioning anything about that. Now, of course, Kevin Federline's going to bring up Justin Timberlake because why not? You know, he could lead with that in the headlines, and he loves to tell a story about Brittany having a phone call with Justin. This was the night before their wedding in 2004, and it looks like Brittany was giving like Justin his last like goodbye call, which I've actually never heard before, so it is a little bizarre. I mean, I feel like Justin Timberlake is the one who kind of got away, but like we kind of want him away, like goodbye, like exit. I mean, was terrible to Britney, but I feel like they had that like bond back then. I could see her, you know, questioning, especially because like Kevin Federline sucks.
The night before our wedding, we're at the Fairmont in Santa Monica in one of the bungalows. And I was like, what's wrong? I thought she was talking to her mom on the phone or something. And maybe she was like having doubts. And she told me that she was on the phone with Justin. And I just kind of stepped back like, did I just hear you right? What the hell is going on? You know, and I would immediately, you know, was, okay, we don't have to do this. Like, I didn't care if we got married or not. And she told me no, and really was like, I just wanted to make sure that everything is done. I want to make sure that I say my final piece. And I'm like, damn, you know, on the night before our wedding, so I kind of at the time took it with a grain of salt and took her explanation as, okay, maybe she is closing a chapter of her life, right?
That's a hell of a red flag, though.
Oh, dude, man, you telling me now? I was super young. I was so madly in love at that moment.
Do you think she was still in love with him?
Totally a red flag, but look at this makeup. Who did his makeup? They should tag the makeup artist in the whatever.
In love, I am not sure, but not over it.
Now, of course, everyone is dragging Kevin Federline because why is he doing this now? I mean, we will talk about Britney's response in a moment, but even Nicki Minaj was tweeting out that, like, Kevin Federline is a loser. Nicki literally said, Kevin Federline, B word when I catch you. And Nicki's been very unhinged and scary lately, so Evan, I would not want to be on her radar. People are supporting Nicki Minaj. They can get behind Nicki when it comes to this. The whole time Kevin and Kenny are cut from the same cloth. Now, I agree with this. And first time I agree with Onika.
And we're not the only ones who feel this way because Nicki Minaj has entered the chat. She tweeted responding to Britney's statement, but I think she took it down saying, Kevin Federline, bleep when I catch you. And the thing is, this isn't the first time she stood up for Britney Spears when it comes to Kevin Federline, because in case you forgot, back in 2022, when Britney Spears got married to Sam Asghari and people were wondering why her sons were not there, Kevin Federline couldn't wait to run to the press, letting everybody know that her kids have decided they are not seeing her right now. It's been a few months since they've seen her. They made the decision not to go to her wedding. Well, Nicki Minaj at that time said, not on my watch, and put out a statement saying, do you understand what kind of clown you have to be a whole grown effing man? And as soon as you see somebody happy and getting married and moving on and being free and feeling good in their own skin, to do the very thing that you know is going to attempt to break them down.
But here's a TikToker who kind of believes what Kevin Federline is saying. And there are some people out there who kind of believe what he has to write. I mean, if he gets sued for defamation and they go to court, I mean, that's a whole other thing. She could like prove him wrong. But yeah, I don't think he wanted. I mean, Britney has got a great lawyer, so I don't know. But here's like, you know, an unpopular opinion, we'll say.
Here's my most controversial current opinion. Kevin Federline, just wait, hear me out. Right, number one, do I think he's a great person? No, probably not. No. So everything I say hereforth is not pro Kevin Federline. That being said, I spent about an hour yesterday just going through Britney Spears' social media. And then I listened to some of the recent comments that he's made from his books. I don't think he's entirely lying about stuff. I'm sure it's a book, things have been embellished. But I think he might be telling the truth when he said way worse stuff has gone on than what's been put in that book. Is he just doing this now to slander Britney and get money? Maybe, because he's not getting money from her anymore. Yeah, obviously, he's getting paid to do these things, and he obviously wants to keep living the lifestyle he's living, right? Yeah, duh, he's doing this for money. But also, I think because he's not being paid anymore, he can actually potentially speak more freely about what's going on.
This comment reads, there's a reason why he had the kids and she didn't. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with mental health crisis, how she was treated in the media, and the control her father had over her. I don't think he's entirely lying, but I think he used the situation to his advantage to get ridiculously high child support payments in the past. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he wanted any evidence that she was terrible and to put it on blast because he wanted to have the kids to get that extra funds. Like, I think it was like $40,000 at one point a month. So it's a lot. This person says that Kevin no longer has monetary reason to stay quiet, which is so true. I mean, now that his kids are growing up, this is probably why he's doing the book, because he can go and make even more money. It's disturbing what he'll do. As much as I used to love Brittney, I think he had custody of those boys all those years for a reason. Brittney's parents failed her. And I do agree, her parents failed her. And I think also the people who controlled her career just made her work all the time. She never even got a chance to have a break. Let's talk about Brittney's response. Remember when Kevin said that they were screaming for a relationship? Well, she says, I have always pleaded and screamed to have a life with my boys. Relationships with teenage boys are complex. I have felt demoralized by the situation. I've always asked and almost begged for them to be a part of my life. Sadly, they have always witnessed the lack of respect shown by my own father for me, with one son only seeing me for 45 minutes in the past 5 years and the other with only 4 visits in the past 5 years. I have pride too. From now on, I will let them know when I'm available. Which that sucks because we want them to have a good relationship. Like, Kevin, don't mess what up, like, whatever relationship she has with him now. She writes, trust me, those white lies in that book, they are going straight to the bank, and I'm the only one who genuinely gets hurt here. Brittney made it clear that she loves her boys deeply, adding, I'm a pretty intelligent woman who have been trying to live a sacred and private life the past 5 years. I speak on this because I've had enough, and any real woman would want to do the same. Let's talk about what Kevin Federline has to say about Sam Asghari, because it is interesting to see how badly he tries to come for Sam, who's completely out of the picture nowadays. But you know what? I'm kind of here for it because I like to see the different characters within this mess like fight each other, as long as they don't come for Brittney. She needs a break.
I have a hard time even having any kind of respect for Sam because what type of man gets involved in a situation like the one he got himself into with her? When me and Brittney were together, he was probably 10 or 12 years old. So he doesn't understand where the roots of this thing are. I was with her before.
The shade. Sam was probably 10 or 12 years old when they got together.
Before all of this happened, right? There was real, true emotion there. There was real, true relationship there. And I'm not saying that theirs wasn't, but I'm looking at him as a man. And you're judging me as a father, and you've never had kids. It doesn't matter what he says. It matters what my children say.
You guys know how Kevin Federline moved to Hawaii a couple years ago, kind of unexpectedly? Well, the laws there allow him to collect child support for longer. So it's not 18 anymore, it's like 21. And I think he wanted to take advantage of this law, but of course he's not admitting to it.
There have been questions that you moved to Hawaii because you could extend your child support.
That to me right there is like just ridiculousness. Anybody that knows, like, California governs everything that happened with my kids, my custody.
Does not really give me an explanation because, like, I was following court documents and things that were submitted, and I remember you submitting the move to Hawaii to the judge in that case. So, like, you were like letting the courts know you were shifting to Hawaii. Like, now they did govern it. Now you're in Hawaii. So what's going on there? He really didn't want to give us an answer. Now, all of these stories that have been popping up, they just like came out because his PR rollout is unreal. He's really trying to make that 1 million like copy sale that he said in an interview, which made me just like gag a little bit. But Brittney did just post a long message. Let's go ahead and just read it together. To be loved unconditionally with a naive heart like mine, always being threatened or made to believe I'm the bad one as they profit off my pain. Oh, dear Jesus, show me there is a God and I can too be loved unconditionally and not have to be so perfect because it's really interesting. I 100% beg to differ. The way he is literally attacking me in his interviews. If truth be told, the man in the interview went straight to the source and said it clear as day. No money from Brittney for 5 years. You are trying to get paid. That's what General America is saying. Weird, you both have moved on. Your kids are adults. It's a different world now. Why is he so angry? And what's scary is that he's convincing. It literally blows my mind. The moments he stops before he cries. Are you effing serious? I know his book will sell loads more than mine. Brittany, I don't know who that. Comment below. I mean, I hope it doesn't. If you really love someone, you don't help them by humiliating them. What scared me was how serious and angry he got. People have no idea. It is way worse than anyone could imagine.
I just wish that their mom would get help. What's going on now, and I'm not going to get into details because I'm not going to just expose her personal life, but it's 10 times worse than anything that I've said in my book.
She continues, the boy hates me, and it is deep anger to literally say the things he's saying. As my mother cleverly says, oh, you're angry. We just love you so much and wish you were here. I'm like, what? You called me one time in 6 years and you didn't invite me to my son's birthday in Louisiana in my home for 2 weeks. They get entitled with special secrets as they treat me exactly the way my father used to. Yes, they secretly love to cast me out and make me feel completely isolated. So in resolution, guess what I did, my friends? I bought myself a miniature greenhouse made of all glass, and it has a beautiful stained glass picture above the door. It is the mini house of healing. I do need healing, and I'm starting tomorrow on it. Nope, not growing weed, lavender, rosemary, eucalyptus, and miniature shelves. Freeze your favorite flowers in the refrigerator. I'm serious. The smell stays potent, rich, and strong. Gardenias are unbelievable. Sage, peppermint, chamomile, tea tree, there are so many. I'm going to get real dirty in there with all the dirt, but I don't care. I'm honestly liberated and so damn blessed it arrived. There are so many things to do to heal. I feel like just general contact and communication with people. There are so many things to do to heal. I feel like just like general contact and communication with people. I was saying communication is key earlier. Brittany says, my birthday wish is not to fly anywhere this year. I want to have coffee, lunch, or dinner with Michelle Pfeiffer and Paris Jackson. Well, I hope that happens. It is important to look up to people and still believe in humanity. And there are extremely cool, beautiful people here. So, interesting quote from Brittany. Sounds like she's really not happy, especially in that second screenshot, and bringing up her family. I think that gives us a little insight, but I like these recent posts that she's been making where they're pictures, not captions, because they're a lot more articulate. I don't know. Maybe Brittany is doing well, but I want to hear what you guys think of this mess in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and whose side are you on? Let me know. Bye, guys.